Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. Welcome to the live stream. Super excited to be celebrating 250,000 subscribers. Still absolutely blows my mind, and I am so thankful for each and every one of you. I've been on YouTube now for about 3.5 years, and one of the things that I always remember is behind every view, behind every comment, behind every like is absolutely a person, and that means so much to me. So thank you very much. I would not be here without each and every one of you. And again, I'm super excited to join you today, and honestly, just love the community that's building. So if you're joining me now on the live stream, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay and have a question, be sure to leave a comment below. But again, super excited to get started. So if you're joining me now here in the live, go ahead and drop in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. I always love to see how far these videos make it around the world. I don't know why everybody tunes in and cares what I eat, but I love that you do, and I love making the videos and sharing what I'm up to. So go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. So Jacob, let's see, curious to know what your fitness routine is. I see some of it on your channel. Could you detail it a bit here? So part of my fitness routine, I'm working out, a few days a week. I try to do 2 to 3 days a week resistance training, split between that and CrossFit. And I'm actually getting ready to increase my fitness routine here over the next few weeks and months. And I'll be sure to actually create a video on that specifically. Hey, what's going on, me? What's good? Denise, hey Ryan, best reels ever. I really appreciate that. Again, every time that somebody watches the videos of the reels, it really does mean a lot to me. And one of the best comments that I love to see is when somebody says, I don't even care about weight loss. I just love watching the videos. So I absolutely try to make them entertaining, and I'm glad that they come across that way. Hey, what's good? I like your content. Good stuff. Good shorts. Joining in from Pakistan. The Perrin family, great to catch you on the live. Thanks for being here. Again, really appreciate it. We got Peyton joining in from Louisiana. Joe Kramer, Ryan's the go. What's good from Pittsburgh? Hey, what's good in Pennsylvania, man? How's everything at work? Christina tuning in from work. Be sure to enjoy your lunch. I'm still fasting right now. I stopped eating a little later last night at around 10 o'clock. So I'm only 15 hours faster right now, having some black coffee, actually, the mug that my mother-in-law got me, which I really like. Work from home employee of the month. Good stuff. And doing good. Arkansas tuning in. Germany. Hey, what's good, Germany? I was actually born in Germany, born in Fulda. My dad was in the Army. I don't remember it, but I was born there. Tuning in from San Francisco, Abu Dhabi, UAE, what's good? Another Florida, what's good? Pennsylvania, we got Mississippi. Let's see. Y'all make food look incredible. Love that your wife cooks all kinds of amazing meals. So I love to eat. That's one of the reasons why I like fasting, is I'm not big on completely restricting what I eat. And Carrie is an amazing cook. I'm a little impatient when it comes to cooking, which is why I don't eat out too or don't cook too often. If it was up to me, I'd probably eat out all the time, just because I don't like to cook, but Carrie does, and she is incredible. So we got South Dakota tuning in, Iowa. Fam is at work and school. Let's see, there was a Chicago in there. Ryan, any day in the life videos coming up? Yes, so I've got my next day in the life video, should be dropping here in the next few days. I'm probably going to release it on Saturdays, the next day in the life, and then plan on filming some more of those coming up. We got New Zealand turning in. Congrats on the play button. Refining Fireforge, I really appreciate that. Be sure to check him out. We follow each other on TikTok as well, but man, I really appreciate that. Shout out, please, to Bucket Getter. What's good, Bucket Getter? Florida's in the house. Good stuff. Jersey's here. Let's see. Ryan, love your content, bro. What's the worst place you had your one meal in a day? I really appreciate that. And I think so I'll say this, man, not too many places come to mind, because I am I'm a little easy to please, and also intermittent fasting does absolutely kind of tilt my perception of food. They say hunger is the best seasoning. So that absolutely plays a role, and I'm a little easy to please. But I can't think of anything that has been the absolute worst one meal. And if I ever eat at a place, I can think of maybe one or two, and I'm not going to shout them out here. One or two places where I really did not enjoy it. And if that's the case, I just don't share that video. There's so much negativity already in the world. You don't need me being negative. Now, I don't ever say something is better than it is, right? Like if something's not good, I think if you've been watching my videos long enough, you kind of know my rating scale. There's like, it was okay is like towards the back end of that. Like it wasn't too good. I mean, it was okay. If something's really good, it was really good. Or every once in a while, I'll drop in a stupid good if something was very, very good. But if something is legitimately bad, and I can only think of like maybe one or two places that I've ever eaten and filmed, I just don't share that video. Hey, I want my brother to join your group. What do you recommend I send him to for getting a good understanding of your program? So that's a great question. He can join my email list at emailswithryan.com. You just go to emailswithryan.com and join the email list. But also with that is I've got a Facebook group now that I've started really in the last month. I have a Facebook group. So if you're interested in joining the Facebook group, you can join me on Facebook. I'm Ryan Johnson there as well. Look at my page. There's a few pages that imitate that they're like me, but I've got about 36,000 followers on Facebook, and I have a free Facebook community. You can go there as well. The Facebook community, again, just a free group if you're interested there, or you can sign up for the weight loss newsletter there. Love the content. Appreciate that. Good morning. Hoping for some insight on how to check for food allergies. My body is sensitive to certain foods, so I'm not sure how to go about confirming actual allergies. Asking from San Diego. So I don't think that I would be the best expert to answer that question. I would say probably talk with your primary care provider. I'm sure that they have, well, I know there are allergy tests, but that would be my recommendation is go to them, let them know that that's something that you're interested in doing. And I think that they can do allergy tests as well as like an elimination diet to try to narrow some stuff down. Ryan Burke, hey, what would your last meal be? Man, I always go to like pizza or Mexican food just because those are two things that I don't think I'll ever get tired of. But I never know when that last meal is going to be, so I try to make them all good. Hello, love your motivating content. Love seeing your wonderful family life too. I really appreciate that. I think, there's nothing that I want more, nothing more important to me than my family. And that's part of the reason why I love doing what I'm doing now. It's part of the reason that I got out of the Army. I love the Army. I love everything about it. But at the end of the day, I spent 2 out of 6 years in Afghanistan and was getting ready to go back to Afghanistan. And as much as I love the Army, I love my family more. And the fact that I have the opportunity now to make these videos, share something that I'm passionate about, which is slow and steady, sustainable weight loss. And now I'm able to coach people. I do that full time to help build those habits in other people. All of that allows me to spend so much time with my family, and I'm beyond thankful for that. Joe, thanks for moving away from Jacksonville. Now I can find biltong at my local Aldi. I appreciate that. Man, so Aldi, actually, they did change. They have them now. They're called thinly sliced steak. They're back at Aldi. I'll be making a video. They have some new flavors. One of them is chili lime, which is incredible. The good news is it's delicious. The bad news is because I authentically share what I eat probably 5 out of 7 days out of the week is I'm going to be eating that a lot now. So hopefully there's not a rush on that. So if you happen to live near me, make sure you go buy the chili lime seasoned thinly sliced steak from Aldi before I get to it. Greg, Louisiana, joining in, fellow UCF grad, sleep is an important part of overall health and well-being. How do you prioritize your sleep? So sleep is something that I haven't prioritized for the last 4 years. So I started intermittent fasting about 4 years ago in April of 2020. I've lost 60 pounds and maintained that over these last 3 years. And sleep is not something that I have prioritized in the last few years. And what I will say about that is kind of with my philosophy and that idea of you can't change everything all at once. I was focused in other areas, things like fasting, making sure for weight loss, fasting, making sure I was hitting a calorie deficit, making sure I was getting my workouts in. Sleep now is one thing that I am focused on. And again, my recommendation is you always build one habit at a time before moving on to the next. That way it is legitimately a habit that's been built. I'm working on sleep now, and some of the things that I'm doing are a nighttime routine, things like turning off my phone, and just getting into like habits before getting into bed. One of the things that Carrie and I are doing is we're not watching TV in the bed anymore. We are watching TV until we get like tired on the couch and then moving to the bed, so that the bed is only like we're not watching TV there, we're sleeping there, so that when we lay in bed, our bodies are conditioned to like fall asleep faster. Have I ever went to Pakistan? So I spent, when I was in Afghanistan, maybe I was in Pakistan, maybe we crossed the border once or twice, but nothing official. Bucket Gator from Florida. Yeah, so I remember a firefight on my birthday in Pakistan, like on the border, September 12th. Ethan, hey, love the food videos, good stuff. Hold on, see, hey Ryan, I'm watching from Ireland. What's your favorite restaurant? My favorite restaurants, I'll do three, and it's just I'm a man of like habits. Like I'll get on something and I'll be on it for a little bit. I think if you watch the videos, you kind of know that's the case. But some that I will always eat at is Cracker Barrel, Texas Roadhouse, and Carrabba's. I love Carrabba's. Those are like my favorite chains. There are some local places here that I absolutely love. That's Hemingway's. Hemingway's is incredible. That's probably my favorite like go-to spot right now. Hey, what's good? We got Chicago joining in, North Carolina. We got Long Island here. Let's see. You should run the Melbourne Marathon next week. Oh, and maybe I'll go there, but there's no way I'm running in the Melbourne. That would be a funny video. Here's me running the, here's everything I eat in a day, running the marathon that I didn't train for. And even walking 26 miles would be a lot. I was in Washington, D.C. last weekend or the weekend before, and I walked 12 miles over the course of the day. I wasn't tired or anything, but like 12 miles, a decent amount of moving. I can't even imagine walking 26 miles right now. It'd take me forever. Hey, yo, Ryan, I grew up in Melbourne. I went to Vieira High School. Now I'm back in Oak Grove, Kentucky. I've been there before. I was 68 whiskey, good stuff, medic. Now I'm a trauma ICU nurse in Nashville, 30 years old with 5 kids now. Hey, Leo, thank you for your service, man. Love my medics. Love that you're a nurse now, man. That is awesome. And love that we both came from Melbourne. And if you were in Oak Grove, you were stationed at Campbell. So that's awesome, man. 101st, let's go. Big support over here, brother. Sorry for the novel. Hey, no worries, man. I thank you for stopping by. I say it all the time and it sounds cliche, but I recognize behind every comment, every view, every like is a person, and I really appreciate that. I love food too. It just doesn't always love me. Hey, from Jersey. Hey, what's good? We got Anthony. Hey, all the way from the UK. What's good in the UK? I got a decent amount of subscribers turning in from the UK. I don't know. I'm still probably a year or two away from being able to do this and travel. Right now, it absolutely meets our needs. I'm not at the point that I can extensively travel, but at some point would love the opportunity to do that. Ethan, I would love some day in the life vlogs or morning, evening routines. I love those. I am working on them. Part of it is, so now that I'm committed to making the shorts, those are the videos that I like making the most for a few reasons. One, it keeps me accountable by sharing what I'm doing. and knowing that you all are out there following along, it absolutely helps me to stay accountable. But then also, I want to show people like what real change looks like. Tune in another 3 or 4 years. I'm going to be in great shape. And when I get there, when I'm in great shape in my 40s, which I'm still a little ways off from, I'm going to show people like it didn't happen overnight. There was some miraculous change that happened. It really was consistent progress. So I love making the shorts. When it comes to the long form, now that I'm coaching people and running my own coaching business, that is my job, my 9 to 5, if you will. So that takes up a decent amount of my time. So the long form videos for me, I admittedly have not been the best about making them, but want to get back into the habit of making those. So I'm looking at those options and want to make sure that I'm continuing to share. But I do have another long form video that is coming out, and it'll be out here in the next few days. Love the shorts. I appreciate that. What's up, boss? Not much, man. How's everything? The ceiling is up. How's everything in your world? We got tuning in from Florida. What's good? Let's see. Oh, I lost my comment there for a second. I got to scroll back up here. Oh, day in the life vlog. See, if this isn't too personal, do you have a mental health aspect in your routine, be it prayer, meditation, journaling, anything? No. So, man, I'm an open book. I have always been served well by being open and honest. So I'm going to continue to do so. As far as a mental health aspect into my routine, I'm continuing to work. Routine is something that I kind of am focused on right now, both for my nighttime and morning routine. So I am reading the Bible daily. That's not something that I have done forever. I am a believer. I am a Christian, but kind of like weight loss and things, I've had ebbs and flows in my own journey, and working on my relationship with Christ is something that I'm working on. And since probably the last few months, I have been working on reading the Bible in the morning. Right now, I'm doing Proverbs. So every day of the month, there's 31 chapters in Proverbs. So read whatever corresponding chapters in Proverbs to the day of the month. I kind of like that. And then have a men's Bible study that I go to along with church and stuff like that. So I absolutely, that spiritual aspect to my life is absolutely a component of what I do. Ethan, a shout out. Hey, what's good, Ethan? How's everything in your world? Heather, what are some diets you've tried in the past? So I have done, looking back, I have done a lot of things. I've been overweight ever since I was a little kid, probably 9 or 10 years old. I remember being in the 5th grade and popping the buttons on my dad's pants. So I was, how old are you in 10th grade? Like 9 or 10, and I couldn't fit into my grown father's pants. They were too tight. So I've always struggled with my weight. When I was in the Army, that helped because I had to be active, but I never really focused on the nutrition side of things. So even in the Army, there can be periods where you're super active. That's when I was fit. And there's periods where you're not as active. That's when I put on weight because I was never really focused on nutrition. But when I needed to lose weight, the diets that I've tried in the past is I've done low carb. I have done Weight Watchers before. I've done If It Fits Your Macros. I've done the bodybuilding, like 6 meals a day. I've done those kind of typical things. I've never done keto or anything like that because by the time keto was popular, I was already committed to this idea of like sustainable weight loss and doing something forever. And I knew that keto wasn't something I could adhere to long term. And because I couldn't adhere to it long term, I didn't do it even for a short period of time. But so I've done Weight Watchers, I've done low carb, I've done straight calorie counting, I've done If It Fits Your Macros, those are the kind of diets I have done in the past. Anthony, hey, from the UK, what's good? Dude, what's your ultimate cheat meal? I think my probably ultimate cheat meal, or just one that I really do love, is Whataburger. I love Whataburger, a double Whataburger with cheese and jalapenos with the works. So everything that comes on it with added jalapenos and a supersized fry with their spicy ketchup. So I would do that as a meal. And then as dessert to that, I'd go to Cold Stone Creamery and get the cheesecake ice cream with double Butterfinger mix in. And that's perfect. Henry, love your content, man. We met a few weeks back when you were traveling. Oh, good stuff, man. I really appreciate that. Wait, no, Henry, hey, what's good, man? Yeah. So, what you call it? That video is actually probably, so the reality is the videos come out a little delayed while I edit and all that kind of stuff. So whatever you're seeing me post actually already happened. It's not like I don't do it every day. I used to, and that was stressful. But no, I remember, Henry, I remember meeting you and your wife, Sarah, out celebrating their anniversary, came up and said hi. So I am glad that you are here on the live. And that also goes to say, I do not get recognized in public that often. I am very small time. Like I only have 250,000 subscribers, which is a lot. Don't discount. Like that's 250,000 people. That is a huge number, but relative to how many people there are in the world, I am super small time. All that being said, if you ever see me out in public, be sure to come over and say, hey, one, because I love it and I'd love the opportunity to meet you and say hi. But Henry, glad you were able to make it. Good seeing you. And that video should be out in a little bit. And if you ever want to be in the video, just say, hey, I want to be in the video. Again, I film like 5 out of 7 days out of the weekend. I love kind of throwing that in there as well, because again, I love meeting you all. Support Israel. Let's see, this guy's awesome. I appreciate that. Man, I wish that there was, and I have a heart for people, regardless of where you're at. This guy's awesome. I appreciate that. Hold on one sec. I'm going to go ahead and star this and then get down to, I saw a super chat come in. I want to make sure I recognize. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you so much for the super chat. That really does mean a lot to me. I really appreciate that. Steve, the engineer, keep up the good work. Ryan, you're a beast. I appreciate that, man. Again, that means a lot to me. Again, just thank you so much for the support. It really does mean the world. Hey, what's good, Florida in the house? What's good, Florida? We got UK turning in. Roshan, hey, what's good from India? Man, I have a video right now getting blown up in India. It was from like a year ago, but the algorithm just picked it up. It's got like 3 million views in the last 4 days. Where I am eating. Oh, that wasn't good. Where I was eating some Indian food and I called the gulab jam, I'm mispronouncing it right now, I call it like fried donut balls. I was describing its texture, but man, I'm getting blown up right now on that video. What should I order at Mr. O1's Pizza? I'd say 2 things. The Star Luca for sure. That one's really good. I like the amount of meats on that. That one tastes really good. And it has that ricotta cheese in the crust. That's amazing. And if you're adventurous, the 𝐂𝐓'𝐒. It's a pizza that has like some sort of meat or salami or whatever the case is. But then also they put honey, blue cheese, and coffee grounds on the pizza. If you're an adventurous eater, try the 𝐂𝐓'𝐒. That one's really good. Hey, hopes all is going well. Sending positive vibes from Kentucky. I appreciate that, man. Heather, Jackie showed the biltong change on her channel. I know she actually texted me, her and I. So Jackie from Intermittent Fasting Foodie, her and I are friends. We are, if you watch our content, you see we share a lot of the same things, have a lot of the same beliefs. We got started on YouTube around the same time, so there's a lot of similarities there. We've collaborated together on a few things, but she sent me a text the other day showing me that she's got the new stuff. I told her to try the chili lime. She had gotten it, but hadn't tried it yet. That chili lime is good. Do you have any diet programs dedicated to veterans? So I don't have any programs that I do. I don't have any programs that I do, but what I am doing is I do one-on-one weight loss coaching. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can reach out. You can either follow me on Instagram or shoot me an email to ifwithryan@gmail.com. So again, the email address is ifwithryan@gmail.com. If you're interested in coaching. All that being said, the reason that I don't have any programs is because I think when it comes to weight loss and having people be successful, most people don't struggle in knowing what to do. They struggle in the follow through. All that to say, and we could go to Google right now, type in, weight loss program or what do I eat to lose weight, or you could go on YouTube and be like, what do I eat or what do I need to do to lose weight? There are a ton of free resources out there. And I don't think that I do anything magical, or I'm never going to tell you something that you haven't heard before. But where the people that I am working with are having success in the weight loss coaching side of things is it fits in that accountability aspect as well. Because again, people don't struggle knowing what to do. They struggle in the follow through and fitting a plan into your life. So all that to say, I am doing one-on-one coaching. If you're interested, reach out. But also, with that being said, I would say a majority of the people that I'm working with are either former athletes. I'm working with a decent amount of people that are former collegiate athletes or former military, because I know what it's like to have been formerly athletic and fallen out of shape. That is something that a lot of veterans and formerly athletic people struggle with, is we get down on ourselves about, man, I used to be in such good shape, and kind of fallen out of that routine. So work with people that absolutely fit that mold. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to reach out. You can find me on Instagram at ifwithryan, or you can shoot me an email to ifwithryan@gmail.com if you're ever interested in that. I don't always have spots open just due to the size of the audience, but I work with people one-on-one. And I just brought on, or it didn't just happen, but in October, November, I started working with an assistant coach where he's able to work with people as well, just because the only kind of coaching we do is that one-on-one coaching. And he's local, and him and I meet together a few times a week to kind of go over everybody's progress and come up with plans and things like that. Everything is one-on-one, personalized. Do you ever feel guilty when you break a fast? I don't feel guilty. Like if I break it early, no. And part of that is because I know I'm in it for the long haul, which means it doesn't matter what I do in a single day. If I don't necessarily hit a goal, it's what I do most of the days. So if I get hungry, I'm going to eat something. I try not to feel too much guilt. Now, may I occasionally? Yes, but it's a conversation that I have with myself, right? Like, you can't let the guilt do more damage than the actual thing that you did. And breaking a fast early isn't going to affect your overall progress. Hey, from London, love your videos. I love that. Anthony says, I've now lost 6 stone. 6 stone. Thanks to intermittent fasting. Thank you, Ryan, for your content, as I would never have tried it. I really appreciate that. Again, I know there are plenty of people that watch my content that have no interest in weight loss or fasting, and that's okay. But for those that find something in the videos that helps get them started down the path, man, I love that. When I get an email or a message from somebody or a comment saying how I have helped them, I absolutely love that. I'm very fortunate to be doing something that I'm passionate about, and that is absolutely awesome. Jacob, not a question. I actually think a live cooking video with your wife would be fun for us to see. 100%. You got to talk Carrie into that. She is not. Social media is not what she enjoys. I told her honestly she could probably do this full time if she wanted to. It's okay that she does not. And the reality is she is much cooler than me, and would surpass even what I am doing. But doesn't have an interest in it, and that's okay. I keep talking to her about a cookbook, y'all. Maybe we'll get her to come out with a cookbook. Have you had periods since losing 60 pounds that you gained some back? How did you get your mind back on track and not feel defeated? So there have been a few periods like that. I would say the first one where I gained the most back was about 20 pounds. And that was when I went from the job that I was at when I got out of the Army, going into Publix. I had that period of about 3 months where I was just in transition. I was doing the YouTube. I took like a 70% cut in pay. That was a stressful period of my life. Put on some weight there. I'm a stress eater by nature. But the thing that I thought about, and the reason why I didn't spiral like I had every time in the past. So I just showed myself a little bit of grace. I understood what it was. It was a season of my life. And that was a season where I was just stressed, and that's okay. But the thing that I did to get my mind back on track was, one, not dwell when I gained a little bit of weight, because if you obsess over the fact that you gain a little bit back, and then that causes you to stressy and stressy and stressy, then you're going to gain all of it back. Like, just accepting it for what it is, and then just starting back where I knew I needed to, which was start back with the fasting, start back with the fitness, be mindful of what I'm eating, and then kind of lost that weight over the period of about a month, month and a half. So I lost 60, and for the last 3 years, essentially, I've been right around the 215 mark, plus or minus, very consistently for the last 2 years now. We need the recipe for the butter chicken. So I did share that in the Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group and you're interested, again, you can find me on Facebook or sign up for my newsletter here at emailswithryan.com. I think I'll send out the butter chicken recipe there. Part of the reason YouTube now doesn't allow me to link stuff in the comments on my short form videos. Otherwise, I would link all of the recipes there, because Carrie gets them from Pinterest and she may make a modification to it. Also, you can follow me. I'm at IF with Ryan. So this name right here, I'm on Pinterest. I'm at IF with Ryan. I don't share anything on Pinterest. I do one thing on Pinterest, and I follow Carrie, and Carrie pins things. So if you Pinterest at all and want the recipes, follow me just so you can follow Carrie. But then also, I did share that butter chicken. That butter chicken was incredible. I've now made the video with it twice. We made it 3 times. There was another day where she made it where I didn't make a video. That butter chicken recipe is incredible. Yeah, what tips do you have for posting on YouTube? Is I have an amazing idea for videos, just don't know how to start. So when it comes to starting on YouTube, the best recommendation I can say, and it's going to sound cliche and it's going to be like, well, of course, but it's just to start posting. You get better as you do it, and you learn through doing. So the thing that most people struggle with when it comes to content creation is overthinking and looking for the best solution before starting. Just start and progress as you go. It's going to take you time to iterate and get better, but that's never going to happen if you don't start. Same thing for weight loss. When it comes to losing weight, don't worry about the best way to lose weight. Just start doing something, do it consistently, and then make adjustments as you go. If you're looking for the perfect way to lose 25 pounds in 60 days, and there are a lot of options, a lot of things you got to commit to. But if you say, you know what, I'm trying to get healthy for the rest of my life, you recognize you may not lose 25 pounds in 60 days, but I'm committed to getting a little healthier and figuring this out as I go. Then you're going to make those individualized and personalized changes that you need to stay consistent, so you can lose the weight that you need to. So there are a lot of parallels between weight loss and content creation, and one of them is just the importance of starting small and getting better as you go. Garrett says, hey, Ryan, your videos have helped me so much when I'm very low. You have encouraged me so much with the fasting and everything else. Sorry for not asking a question, but I love watching what you're doing. Hey, Garrett, I really appreciate that. And again, I love that you found the videos, love that you get something out of them. I really appreciate that. Hey, Ryan, love from South Africa. Are there any effects from your Army days that you think pushed you to overeat? So 2 things. One, hey, thanks for joining from South Africa. I absolutely love biltong. I've built up like a South African following now, just thanks to my love of biltong. But that's an incredible, it's a kind of jerky. So if you don't know what biltong is, it's just cured in a different way, spiced a little differently, but I love biltong. I actually had a South African follower reach out to me, and he sent me a care package with a rugby shirt, Springboks. I think Springboks is the rugby team of South Africa. He sent me a shirt and some biltong. I'm going to be eating some today. I got that yesterday or the day before. So thank you for joining him from South Africa. And then, are there any effects from your Army days that pushed you to overeat? I think probably most of my binging episodes, and I don't know if saying that or whatever triggers whatever, probably happened. I remember vividly my first deployment um, is when I would say that I probably binged the most. We were out at a little small platoon cop. There was 27 of us. We were a mile and a half from Pakistan. Every other day in the summertime, taking rocket. Like that was a deployment, right? Like we were eating MREs. That was what you think about when you think about a deployment to Afghanistan. A very stressful deployment. Lost a few good friends. Like that was a stressful deployment. And we would have periods where we'd go back to refit. And I remember during those periods, I would get like 30 bags of Doritos, like the little bite-sized bags, and they weren't Doritos; they were some knockoff brand. And I would go back to my hooch, to my bed, which was literally like a room, just wide enough for you to walk beside your bed, and like had my foot locker and everything in there. And I had a little DVD player that I bought at a local bazaar, and I would watch White Collar, Jersey Shore, and Seinfeld, and I would eat 30 bags of these Doritos. And I think at the time, eating was 100% my stress escape. Um, so a little bit of that carries over. I'm sure I've got some PTSD. I struggle with some things on the mental health side of things. So I'm sure a part of that has to do with my time in Afghanistan. You ever into fast early? Felt guilty. Talked about that one. Also live in Melbourne. Been hoping to see you around. Well, if you ever see me, man, be sure to say hey. Yeah, if you ever see me, say hey. You can catch me at a Foxtail in downtown Melbourne. I'm there. That's probably the one place that I go to the most. It's where I go to write my scripts for my YouTube videos. Your thoughts on grass-fed versus regular steaks and beef? If you can afford it, if you are at the point where you are looking at your ingredients, I think grass-fed is great. I don't think it's something you need to overly stress about, meaning don't major in the minors. Don't worry about the things that aren't going to have the biggest effect. The biggest effect being if weight loss is your goal. Again, everybody's goals are a little different. If it's weight loss, if it's optimizing, if it's being a professional level performance athlete, right? Each of those things, each of those goals are different. So you need to approach them differently. My goal is not to be a professional athlete. My goal is to be healthy, to be able to play with my girls, to live as long as possible and be as active as possible. So work on the things that are most important first. So if weight loss is your ultimate goal, work on being in a calorie deficit and then what those calories are made of macro wise. Once you have mastered that, then you can start to look at the quality of ingredients. Everything's like on a sliding scale. So all things being equal, I'm sure that there are absolutely benefits to grass-fed versus regular, but don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Love your content, so kind and great with the family from BC. Hey, what's good? Is that a K bar in the back? So it is a K bar. I'll go ahead. I got this as they call them hail and farewell gifts. So that was iron sharpens iron. I was the Iron Rakkasans at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 3rd Brigade of the 101st Infantry Division, and I was 3rd Battalion, which is the Iron Rakkasans, 3rd Battalion of the 187th Infantry Regiment. I was a company commander there. That's the guidon you see on the wall. And I got that K bar as a farewell gift, along with my company guidon, my company colors. I truly admire how you've grown your business. I'm glad I was able to be here from the beginning. Hey, what's good? So you need to send me a voice note because I don't want to call your I don't want to pronounce your name incorrectly here on the live stream. It's too late now. I've kind of put myself into a box. But we follow each other on Instagram. She is going through the same the Nutrition Coaching Institute, where I'm working on the business side of things, like learning how to grow, scale my business. But an aspiring and up and coming nutrition coach as well. Ms. Gomez, thanks for joining me on here. So glad you're a fellow believer. I appreciate that. Amen. Jesus is King. Absolutely. Vivian, try Carolina Roadhouse when you go to Myrtle Beach. Absolutely. So what I need to do is I need to maybe a Google Doc. I need like a big list of all the places that I have to eat at, especially when we start traveling. Um, what's up, brother? That's me, the youth pastor in Nova. Haha, good memory. Hey, what's good, man? Hey, what's good, Ryan? What's good, Ricky? Brody, so excited to catch you live. So glad you could join me on here. Here's everything that I ate today. Yep. So I think today is going to be a day where I do one meal. I know there's a lot of question about that. But I don't do one meal a day every day. Some people think that I do because those videos are the most popular. They have the most virality just due to the nature of the video. Like it's very novel. Here's everything I eat doing one meal a day. Like people want that's interesting. So some people think that that's all that I do, but that is not the case. I do one meal a day, 3, sometimes 4 days a week, and I base it. It depends on a few different things. One of which is whether or not I'm training. Today is a non-training day. I had my men's Bible study this morning, which I go and get ready for at like 5 or 5:30 in the morning. So I go, I'm there for a little bit, and then it's girls' morning routine. Then I start working. So Thursday is typically a rest day for me, which means I'm not training. And I typically do my one meals on non-training days because days where I am physically active, whether it be weightlifting, CrossFit, running, whatever the case may be, those days I tend to be a little hungrier and I tend to do like only 16 or 18 hours. Today, that is not the case. So I will be doing one meal today. I haven't decided what I'm going to eat yet. When it comes to like eating at a restaurant or some of my one meals, sometimes Carrie and I will plan it out. Sometimes I kind of listen to my body and like, what am I feeling in the mood for? Yesterday it was Korean food. I had some Korean food for lunch and that was incredible. Best tips on managing portion control. A few things to think about is one, that is one of the reasons why I like fasting, is that helps just due to the nature of intermittent fasting and going without food for periods of the day. Your stomach is going to shrink a little bit, which means naturally you're going to have that feeling of fullness a little faster. So that is one thing. But one of the other things that you can do is, or a simple thing to do is I just like to leave a few bites. If you're somebody that finishes all of your food, you don't have to cut your food in half to eat less. That's an extreme reduction that usually tends to a rebound because then you over restrict and end up binging on the back end. So if you eat all of your food right now, start by getting the amount that you normally would and leaving 2 bites on the plate. That's going to be that 5 or 10% reduction. And then just kind of do that over time, if that makes sense. So that would be my recommendation, is based off of what you would normally eat now, just leave a little bit. And then depending on if weight loss is your goal, do that for a little bit, stay consistent. If you could reduce your overall calories by just 5%, but do it for the rest of your life, imagine what that adds up to. But then you do it for a little bit, you realize you're not losing weight. Okay, so then maybe you need to reduce a little more. Something to think about. OG Parker, one up. How you doing? Man, I'm doing great. To steal a line from Dave Ramsey, better than I deserve. That's 100% the truth. Everyone should eat biltong regularly. I agree. Jackie is awesome. Hey, Mina joining in. The Zoom call was amazing. So if you didn't know, or a lot of you may not know, a few hours ago, I did a Zoom call with people on my weight loss newsletter. You can sign up at emailswithryan.com to be a part of my newsletter. That is just another way. Again, I absolutely love sharing what I'm doing. I love this idea of sharing the idea of slow and sustainable weight loss. I know that not everybody watching this content cares about that. Again, my shorts get probably between TikTok and all of the different things. I'm getting right now about 10 million views a month. Not everybody cares about weight loss, and I appreciate that. But I love talking about it just because this idea of like a slow and sustainable approach to losing and maintaining weight loss, it has absolutely changed my life. It's something I'm very passionate about. So if that is something you are interested in, please, I'd encourage you to sign up for my email newsletter. I send out, like, that's where you get more in-depth thoughts, and I share stuff on weight loss specifically. but then part of that also is I'll do Zoom calls with my weight loss newsletter subscribers. And I did a Zoom call before this live stream where there's a chance for us to see each other on video, ask more in-depth like weight loss questions, that kind of stuff. So, but Mina was there as well, joining from Greece. Glad to have you here also. Middle Georgia joining in. What's good? All the way from the UK. Love your shorts. I appreciate that. What's up, mate? The ceiling is up. So, hey, what's your advice for someone who is struggling to fast? I'm trying to do 22-hour fast a day, and it's hard not to eat. So my recommendation is, if 22 hours is tough, don't start there. My recommendation for anyone getting into fasting is just start with 16 hours, right? Like, you don't have to jump to the long stuff. Listen to your body. I started at like 16 and 18 hours. I did that for a while until I got to my goal weight. Then I started incorporating the longer fasts. Don't just arbitrarily set a number. Hey, I need to fast 22 hours and then get frustrated if you don't hit it. Start a little slower and ramp up. You're always going to win if you never stop. But sometimes going out of the gate too hard and getting frustrated, that's when you do stop. So my recommendation, if you're trying to do 22-hour fast a day, if you're not fasting at all, start with 16 hours. And then if you already are fasting at 16 hours, how do you extend to 22? My recommendation is when 16 comes, if you're not hungry, push it out a little bit, and then push it out a little bit. And then naturally over time, your body will just get used to it. Hey, love your videos all the way from the UK. I appreciate that, man. Unfortunately, in the military, we know that galley food can be bloody awful, especially deployed or different bases, but you can try, and I do try and make the smart choices. Absolutely, 100%, right? Like, you don't have to make the best choice, just try to make a better choice. What do you do by profession? So I'm mixed between content creation and online weight loss coach. I would say I'm probably about a 80-20 split. 80% of what allows me to do this full time is the online coaching. And then from, ad revenue and things like that from the different platforms due to views and things like that. As a coach, how do you deal with clients and mental health? Like, I've seen someone comment on guilt. How do you approach that with a client? So one of the things that I do as a weight loss coach, and again, part of it, I don't advertise it too much on YouTube. And part of the reason is just due to the size of the audience. Like, I'm only able to work with a limited number of people, which is part of the reason that I brought on an assistant coach, is so that I'm able to help even more, but I'm limited in the number of people that I can work with. But most of the people that I do work with, they absolutely fit a certain mold, meaning I can't be all things to all people. I heard this quote and steal it is, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a few people's shot of whiskey. All that to say, typically, the person that I'm working with is in the same spot that I was in 3 or 4 years ago, has struggled with the same things. So when it comes to that coaching, a lot of it 100% comes from a place of personal experience. I am not an expert in a lot of things, but when it comes to the struggle of yo-yo dieting, breaking free from that all or nothing mentality, that I am an expert in, because it's what I've lived my entire life. So I can absolutely speak to that. Now, if you were trying to speak, there are certain times where I'll speak to something I'm not necessarily an expert in. I'll try to educate myself. And then if I am not an expert in it and I can't educate myself, I'll be very upfront and say, that's not something that I can necessarily provide the best feedback on. And sometimes that's a good answer too, right? Like, you don't have to act like you know everything, because we don't know everything. So if there's something that you're not able to speak to, do a little bit of research and then just be authentic and saying, hey, I'm not the best resource for that, but here's somebody who is. Like, for example, like when it comes to working with people with diabetes, that's not my area of expertise. It's just not. But I know Dr. 𝐂𝐿 is huge into intermittent fasting and diabetes. So I push them to that resource. Jacob, off to a meeting. Congrats again, mate. Looking forward to more content, man. I appreciate that. Thoughts on alcohol Do you drink? How often? If so, I don't drink too often. Like, again, maybe in my videos it may appear that way, but the reality is, one, I hardly ever drink if I'm not making a video. Like, I don't drink at the house just because that like very rarely happens. So most of the time, if I'm going to drink, it's because Carrie and I are going out. And most of the time we go out, I'm filming. So there's a little bit of that skewed. Like, it seems like he drinks a lot, but still I'm having like, if I had to be honest, I probably average maybe 3 to 4 drinks a week, if that. It's just not something that I prefer. I did drink to excess when I was in college and in the army, and I drank to get drunk, specifically. And I'm just not at that point in my life anymore. So more often than not, I am not drinking, because I'm not like seeking to get drunk. I may, if we go out to a restaurant, I do enjoy good tasting things, so I'll order a drink if like something seems interesting. But that's my my alcohol intake is about that. I definitely relate to much of what you're saying. I really appreciate that, parent family. What's your favorite cheat meal? It's that Whataburger, double Whataburger with cheese, jalapenos, and the Whataburger fries. You used to snack on pork rinds. What happened? Haha, JK, love your content. So I am a creature of habits, and there are absolutely times where I try to vary what I eat because I know that I am making the videos, and that way you're not always tuning in and seeing the same thing. If it was left to me, I could find a few things that I really like and just eat those forever. And you get a little bit of that from watching the videos. But I will say that I like go in phases. So I'll be hooked on something for a while, and then I go to something else. That's a little bit of that is my ADHD, and being like hyper fixated on things for a while and then completely losing interest. So that is part of it. So pork rinds have just made their way out of the rotation. They'll probably make it back in. I had some a video or two ago. Those Turkey Creek chili lime. Those were really good. Like mango with tahini. If you've been watching these videos for a while, and if you're watching this live, like comment mango and tahini if you remember. And if you're watching this on the replay, comment mango and tahini. And if you're watching this on the replay, that's awesome. We're 52 minutes. That one has been out of rotation for a little bit, but it may work its way back in. I eat in cycles. Should try to make your own kimchi. Yeah, they say that with biltong too. I should make my own, but I just do not like cooking. I am a man of convenience. Who's been the biggest help on your journey? I would say with weight loss. It was this book by James Clear, Atomic Habits. So I read this at the start of my weight loss. It shaped a lot of the way that I view things, as well, not only weight loss, but just kind of other habits as well. I like it so much. And when I brought on my assistant coach, Mike, him and I reread through it together because, again, if you work with Mike, or in the future, I imagine I'm going to have other coaches, it's just like you were working with me. And I absolutely have a philosophy surrounding weight loss. And some of that philosophy is rooted in Atomic Habits, the idea of like slow, consistent progress. So biggest help on my journey would probably be on the weight loss side of things, probably be James Clear and Atomic Habits. Any advice on dealing with depression and fighting negative thinking patterns? My biggest advice on that, and again, I can't tell people what to do, but I'll absolutely share what I have done when I was at my darkest hours. One, it was very tough for me, but I absolutely communicated that with Carrie. So that was the first thing, and I'm not saying that that's easy, but it absolutely is what happened. Is when I was at the end of my rope, I communicated that, and then she was wise enough to recommend that I reach out and get some support and help, and that made a lot of difference to me. So my recommendation to you would be do the same. Like, don't feel like you have to shoulder everything yourself. Don't feel like you have to figure it out. Reach out, get support. I did that through my doctor. But so to answer your question, I don't know that I can give you a specific answer other than the biggest thing that I did was I absolutely sought help. Same way like with weight loss, right? Like there are certain things that I can speak to. Dealing with the depression on my own was something that I struggled with. And I was fortunate enough that I spoke out in time to make a change. Um, but I absolutely sought professional help. Feel like taking me under your wing and disciplining me to do what you're doing here in the UK, shoot me an email to ifwithryan, ifwithryan@gmail.com. What do you think about the carnivore diet? I tried it. I tried Paul Saladino's, like meat and fruit and stuff like that. I like the idea of it. I like eating that way. But one of the reasons that I didn't follow it is because it didn't check the box of sustainability and fitting seamlessly into my life. Because I have a family and we eat all sorts of different things. I'm not going to mandate what they eat. So it didn't make sense. Like, y'all eat this and I'll eat this. Like, I don't like that. My family is important to me, and I don't want my girls to see me eating a certain way and feel bad for not eating a certain way. So I love the idea of like the Paul Saladino version. I know people will say what they will about him, and the thing that I don't like about Paul and some of his stuff is that black or white, because I'm not that way, right? Like there's a little bit of gray area. We do have to find what works for us individually. I like the idea of trying it, but it didn't make sense in my life to be able to do it sustainably. So glad God saved you and is now using you to help so many others. Shows that God can use us if we persevere. Well done. Hey, I appreciate that. And that's something that I continue to pray about, and something I'll share in the live stream now. 56 of you are watching, and maybe not very many people are going to make this on the replay. Just because I know, due to analytics, not very many people watch the live stream replays, and very few still make it to 57 minutes. But if you're watching this on the live, watching on the replay, it's absolutely something I continue to pray about. And I feel like I have absolutely been saved by grace. And I think one of the things that's important to me is I want to be a light, but I don't want to pander. I don't want to come across as like, I have thought about even in my coaching business, like, I help Christian men lose weight. Like the thought of that seems inauthentic to me. So the way that I want to minister is just by trying to be the best, by following God's example and seeking after him. So I really appreciate that. I really feel like God has blessed me beyond measure. And so it's something I'm praying about, like, how is what I'm doing in ministry? I don't know if I turned it into a ministry or if I just tried to be the person that God has called me to be. And as a result of that, he uses that. But I really appreciate that. Again, I think God has convicted me to be more open about my faith. So I don't ever want to be, you're not going to see me Bible thumping, because the thought of that kind of turns me off a little bit. But I can do better at openly sharing my faith. But so I appreciate that. Green, hey Ryan, hey, what's good? Just saying, if you don't eat enough calories, can you also hold on to fat? If you are eating in a deficit, you are going to lose body fat. But depending on what you are eating, what it's made up of, meaning the macro wise, the weight you lose, some of it may come from lean body mass. Meaning, if you are eating at a 500 calorie deficit and a majority of your calories are coming from carbs, you could lose a pound, but the reality is 60% of that pound you lost could be from body fat and 40% could be from lean body mass. So as you continue to lose weight, you're going to continue to look soft. If you eat higher protein at the same calorie number, and you're doing resistance training, the likelihood that you only lose fat increases. So a long answer to your short question. So you can hold on to fat or not lose as much fat as possible, depending on what the calories you are eating are made of. It feels like you have so much figured out already. Is there anything in your diet like you'd like to improve on in the future? No, for sure. So my diet is still, I want to move to eat clean. And by clean, I mean, only unprocessed foods, single ingredient. That's where I would like to end up, because I think that is really good, very healthy, supports a lot of what I want to do about longevity and being fit and maintaining low body fat, lower than I am now. I still eat processed foods, but the real thing that I am working on, and if you continue to watch this, if you continue to watch me in my journey, and the thing that I'm going to figure out, I'm going to figure it out for myself. Does it work for everybody? I don't know. Is it going to work for some people? Absolutely. Is to how to go from the standard American diet to an optimal, no processed, whole foods diet, but do it in such a way that it is sustainable. And so that when I get there, I keep it up for the rest of my life. Could I hard and fast say tomorrow I'm only going to eat clean, no processed foods? I'm going to make a 180-degree switch from what I was doing to what I want to do? Yes, through sheer will and discipline, I could make that change in a day. Could I keep it up 3-6 months from now? I don't think the answer to that is yes. So knowing that's where I want to end up, I am in real time trying to figure out how I can move along that path and have it be sustainable. I don't have the answers. That is what I'm working on. Hey, thanks for responding to my comment yesterday. Super excited for the video. Oh, I appreciate that. Hey, what's going on, Trav? I'm trying to get Trav to start a YouTube channel. It's my little brother, if you didn't know, and his killer mustache. How many calories do you hit daily? It varies. I probably average. I'm probably 22 to 24. It's been a minute since I've counted calories. But that's in my head, that 2,300 is kind of what I kind of ballpark for as I keep running calculators going throughout the day. It's like, if I eat more than that, okay, today was a high calorie day. If I eat less than that, okay, today was a low calorie day. They kind of balance out, but that's kind of the number that I shoot for. Favorite TV show? Seinfeld and Friends, I love. Carrie and I are watching Modern Family right now. We've never seen that before, but we got a Hulu subscription just because it was like, we're at the point, I said I don't watch a lot of TV, but Carrie and I are trying to get back into watching something together. We got on Modern Family. We've been watching it, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a month. We're into season 2 right now, maybe a few weeks. But Modern Family is really funny. Like food, I kind of travel from thing to thing when I fixate. But Seinfeld's been I've seen that many times. It was The Office before, but they took it off Netflix, so it's hard to watch. I love The Office. What does I have with Ryan? So it's intermittent fasting with Ryan. That was originally the name of my YouTube channel, and then I just changed it to Ryan Johnson. Do you ever get hungry doing 1 meal a day? There are times where I get hungry, and if that happens, then I just I try to wait an hour, see how I feel. And if an hour comes and I'm still hungry, well, then I just go ahead and eat something. I don't always muscle through a fast just to say that I fasted for a day, if that makes sense. Do you break your fast or get hungry or go by time? So the idea is to go by time, but if I get hungry, I'll set my timer for an hour. If I'm still hungry, then I will eat. If not, then I will push it out. If you're ever in Austin, Texas, you have to go to Terry Black's Barbecue, best barbecue in the world. You need to put it on the list. Typical calorie intake per day. Do you follow any specific parameter or macros? So again, probably 23, 24. I do try to get my 180 to 200 grams of protein a day. I do try to prioritize that because more often than not, if you cannot overeat on calories and hit a sufficient amount of protein, that's going to get you 80% of the way there. So that is what I focus on. 100% I'm thinking about protein. Am I getting protein? Am I getting protein? Am I getting protein? If you can take care of that, for the most part, everything else takes care of itself. Hey, Ryan, love your live chats. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. Let's see. Do I have any Army stories? I do. I'm going to have to save those for the next live stream because I'm trying to keep this one to around 90 minutes. And I got a ton of comments that I want to be able to get to, but in the next one, be sure to hit me back up, Darren. I'll share some Army stories. What does IF with Ryan mean? No, it's not the Gen Z meaning. It's intermittent fasting. What are some of my PRs in the gym? At my strongest when I was in the Army, I did 295 on bench. I never got to 315. My bench has always been my weakest. I got to 295. I got to 265 recently. So I think I still have the potential. I always go back and forth on whether or not I want to push for it, meaning like, is that the thing that's important to me? Hitting PRs in the gym. I think 300 is possible for me because I did 265 and that's not really focusing on it. I just wanted to see what I could do. So I've done 265 in the last few months on bench. For squat, my 3-rep max was 325, and that's breaking below parallel. I did 325 for 3 on squat. And I don't do a lot of 1-rep maxes in squat and deadlift or bench either. I just happen to do the bench. But in deadlift 2 weekends ago, I got 315 for 16 reps. That was pretty good. So 315 on deadlift, 315 for 16 reps, unbroken, like hanging onto the bar the whole time. Key Lime Pie, what's good? Hey, from Manchester. Love your channel. Been following and using some of your tips. I love that. Enjoy the shorts. Great stuff. Mom tuning in. Got her on the intermittent fasting train, doing 16 to 18 most days. I love it. I love watching your videos, and I'm too skinny to lose weight, but I'm actually trying to bulk, but still enjoy watching a non-scripted and fake creator. I really appreciate that. That really does mean a lot to me. Again, anytime somebody says that they're not into weight loss, they just like watching the videos. I really appreciate that. Oh, hold on. I'm having a hard time bringing up this next comment. I don't know why. Oh, thank you for bringing mental health into the discussion too. It does have an effect on physical health and weight loss. Love the way that you're presenting weight loss and healthy living. I really appreciate that, Kelly. I mean, everything is absolutely intertwined. It's hard to separate one thing from another. Colin, did you ever think you would blow up like you did? So here's what I'll say. I am very committed and focused by nature. I am hyper obsessive. I have always been that way. Again, blame my ADHD. So when I fixate on something, I can make it happen. I was convinced that I would do YouTube full time when I started doing YouTube, just because I was able to see that, you know, this is what's possible. And like weight loss, if you commit to it for long enough, it will work. I had no idea it was going to be the timeline. Like I was thinking like 5 years plus to even have the potential to do it full time. For me, it happened at around the 2-year mark, which is just, I knew it would happen because like with anything, if you follow the steps for long enough, it will work out. What I was not aware of and what I wasn't ready for was the speed at which it took off. In 2021, it like took off like a rocket. And I still feel like I'm strapped to it. What's a better alternative to bread? Depends on what you're looking to do. I'm not one that likes to eliminate entire foods. I like to fit them in moderation, because typically if you try to limit that food, then it becomes this like hyper fixation, like I can't eat this, and then it occupies the space in your brain. And if I say you can't have bread, all you're thinking about all day long is like, I can't have bread, I can't have bread, I can't have bread. Stop telling yourself you can't have it. And one, your desire for it's going to go down a little bit, because we all want what we can't have. And then 2, try to start to learn on how to fit it in moderation. Now, there are still things that I can't moderate, like peanut butter monster from Target. If you've never had it, don't try it, because it's incredible. I can't moderate myself on that. So if I have it in the house, I'm going to eat the entire 2,000 calorie thing. I have probably done that 10 times in the last year or 2, probably 2 years, not 10 times in a year. That'd be once every 2 weeks. Probably more like, probably not even once a month. Once a quarter. Probably once a quarter, I will eat a 2,000 calorie container of peanut butter monster. I can't moderate. It's incredible. but I don't tell myself that I can't have it. If I want it, once a quarter, I'm going to eat 2,000 calories of this peanut butter monster trail mix, which tastes incredible. And I eat it and then I move on with my life. If I said I'm never going to eat peanut butter monster again, I guarantee where I eat 4 of those a year right now at 2,000 calories, I guarantee I would eat exponentially more by telling myself that I can't have it, because then I'm always thinking about it. So the long answer to your short question, the best alternative to bread, I would maybe challenge that. Unless there's a dietary reason you can't have bread, maybe start to think about, if I want this, I can have it. Have you ever been to Disneyland? I have not been to Disneyland. What's a great way to start losing weight while being on a tight budget? Intermittent fasting? No. No, I would say, based off of what your budget and everything is, the best way to lose weight is start by taking small steps. Find that 1 or 2 things that you can do consistently and just do that consistently. So maybe it's not diet, maybe it is getting in a few more steps, maybe it is being a little more active. And when it comes to diet, based off of your budget, find things that move you towards your goal, but that you also don't regret or loathe eating. Eat the healthiest thing that you still enjoy. That's where that consistency is going to come in. Any good recent Costco finds? I need to get to Costco. I heard the real good chicken tenders are on sale for $9.99 a bag, which is a killer steal. If y'all are at a Costco, as long as you're not in the one in Melbourne, Florida, please don't go buy them out. The real good chicken tenders are on sale for $10 a bag, and it's like 3 pounds. I usually, one bag, if I want to eat it as a meal, I could split the bag up into 4 servings, but 4 servings at $10 is $2.50 for a decent amount of protein. It's like, for 12 ounces of chicken breast, it tastes really good. That's a great Costco find that's on sale right now. Hopefully it is. Skipped over my comment. See, that's why I skipped over your comment. It's because every once in a while I screen them and try to catch them, and then one slips through. Actually, you know what? That's what I do to that. All right, so he's gone. Much love, brother. Hey, I appreciate that. Seeking Truth, one of my YouTube heroes, a family man and a console. I really appreciate that. Seeking Truth. That means a lot to me. Eric, what's good, man? How's everything in your world? Be sure to shoot me a text after this. Vivian, what's good? I appreciate that. It's weird because I know the comments are coming at a delay. Now, I blocked off more time for this, so I'm going to try to hang around until the very end. I've got the most important thing I'm doing today. I need to eat more calories. Need to gain muscle. Thanks. We'll email you and hope you can guide me. Just so blessed to have met a fellow believer doing something that's in my heart. God bless you, brother. I appreciate that. Yes, no Bible bashing, but just walking out in love. I love it. Buddha Gobbler was the easiest way to eat just 1 time a day. I'm always hungry. Don't start with 1 meal a day. Start with 16 and then just kind of increase it over time. What do you do for fun? I watch a decent amount of TikToks. And then I'll show y'all. I was into magic for a little bit. I was hyper obsessed with magic. So I did some card tricks for a while. So that was something that I'll do. Something that I did for fun was a little bit of card magic. And I still do that like at night sometimes. I'll get out some cards and play with them. Roman, let's go dancing. Sounds good. Hit me up. What are your favorite seltzers? Limoncello. I second that. The limoncello seltzers by LaCroix are probably my favorite as well. They are really good. And key lime LaCroix is okay, but limoncello is probably the top tier bubbly. When it comes to the seltzer waters, we just buy whatever is on sale. But if they're not on sale, we get them from Costco, where that's the best deal if they're not like BOGO or Publix. But we get that one that has the limoncello in it, which are great. Hey, Jim, joining in. Howdy from Dallas. I struggle with eating slow and small bites and stopping right when I'm full. I eat fast, and by the time I'm done, I'm overly full and probably overeaten by that point. Thoughts? So I agree. I have struggled with the same thing. I've always been a fast eater. I picked that up at Ranger School. You got to eat super fast. I have always been that way. The thing that I would recommend is, if you are anything like me, if you have the ability to, meaning you're eating at the house, serve yourself with a smaller portion. Feel free to eat it fast, but then just say, I've got to have a glass and 10 minutes got to pass before I go back for my next round. That's if you're eating at the house. If you're eating out and about, I don't know that I have the best answer for it because I haven't figured that out myself yet. Modern Family is my fave. We love it too. Hey Ryan, thank you for being you, man. You inspire and motivate many of us beyond health and fitness. Keep it up. We're counting on you. I really appreciate that. Again, just love the opportunity. Love that I found something that I'm passionate about, and love the opportunity to share. Everyone should watch Seinfeld if you've never seen it. I love that. Seinfeld is hilarious. Congrats on 250K. I really appreciate that. Top 3 favorite movies, probably Back to the Future, Shawshank Redemption, and Ocean's 11. I could watch any of those on replay. Hey, Joe, what's good, man? How's everything in your world? Joe, one of my coaching clients here. What's good, man? Hope everything's going well for you, man. Zach, another guy, man. Another coaching client. What's good, Zach? How's everything in your world? Congrats on the 250K. Well deserved. I really appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by, man. What would be your last meal on death row? Again, going back earlier in the live stream, I'd probably say pizza or Mexican food. If I had to choose one, it would be a straight up Mexican, like tacos, chips and salsa, the works, all that. I just love that stuff. Do you incorporate bone broth into your fasting? I did there for a little bit. It's something that I've gotten away from. I have in the past. Bone broth is really good if you're doing longer fasts. It help ease you back into digestion and breaking your fast with a protein. But it is not something that I have been consistent on consistently. How many times a week do you go to Costco? It's probably a monthly run. Probably about once a month we're going to Costco. Is there any particular regimen for resistance training you follow? When it comes to resistance training, I have a workout. You can watch them here on YouTube. You can go and watch like my go-to weightlifting workout. That video is now probably 2 or 3 years old, and it's the same workout that I'm doing now. I make slight variations to it, but it is very simple. I enjoy it. And when it comes to weightlifting resistance training, you don't need a lot of frills. You need consistency. Like, for example, my weight has been 215 for the last 2 years, but I know, like, I can just tell through body composition, the way that I look, I know that I have probably put on 3 or 4 pounds of muscle over the last 2 years, which may not sound like a lot until you like lift weights and like, a few pounds of muscle, you can absolutely tell. Anyways, all that to say, I haven't changed up my routine that much. It doesn't take a lot of special stuff. It takes simple stuff done consistently. You going for the Chiefs or the 49ers? I'm going for the Chiefs for 2 reasons. One, my father-in-law is a Chiefs fan, so they've automatically got my vote. And then 2, the comments, y'all can have your own opinion on it, and it'll be on YouTube to live forever now. I am a Swiftie, so I don't watch too much football, and I probably won't even watch the Super Bowl. But I do want to see if Taylor's boyfriend is going to win the Super Bowl and propose to her at the end. So we'll see what happens. T-Swizzle helped get me through my first deployment. So a bunch of infantry dudes, a bunch of killers listening to Taylor Swift and Kesha in Afghanistan in 2011, 2010. Gosh, I'm losing track of time. Yeah. You're the GOAT. Shout out to the UCF hat. Go charge on. Let's go Knights. Would you consider eating only organic to clean up your food? I lost 95 pounds in a year without any weight training or fasting beyond 14 hours by changing to only organic. I don't limit calories at all. Where I would find that difficult to incorporate is, one, I don't like to be dogmatic. Like, I can only do this, think about this. And I just love to eat out. I do. I don't like to cook. I don't like to clean dishes. And now, because I make money off of making these videos, the individual restaurants don't pay me. Like, I'm not sponsored by the restaurants. That would be sweet. Be even less. But the money that I make off of the ads from TikTok and YouTube kind of cover the meals. So now I'm able to eat out more. So as far as going only organic, I would find it tough just because I love to eat out as much as I do. What was your favorite video to make? A year ago, we did our family vacation up to the Northeast. That was fun. Just great memories with my families. Um, I like to make the shorts more than I like to make the horizontal regular style YouTube videos because I have a short attention span. So it's like I can make a 60-second video and I think I can make it well. I feel like my long ones are just monotonous. Like I get in my own head about, oh, this is boring, and like it's stressful for me sometimes making the long form video, and I still don't make enough off of YouTube here in the next year or two. Or if you live in Melbourne and are aspiring video creator, want to come along with me on the ride on the journey to like 1 million and beyond subscribers, I'm looking for a videographer. I don't have an eye for shooting those videos, and it's hard to live my life and like set up and capture every single moment. Whereas with the shorts, I can just, okay, grab a shot of this, grab a shot of this. I can integrate it seamlessly into my life. But if you live in Melbourne and want to be a videographer and join me on the YouTube ride, I could make more YouTube videos if I had somebody shooting them. So shoot me an email. Has 𝐂𝐄𝐓'𝐒 means something in a different way? Yeah. Math. Just cutting soda helped me to lose about 30 pounds. I love it. Again, just make those 1 or 2 small changes. Favorite sports team player? I follow night football. UCF football is probably the only thing that I follow with any level of consistency. What are your personal favorite people to watch or get inspiration from when it comes to watching other fitness content? I love Nick Bare. I mean, he is a few years younger than me, and he's somebody who I aspire to be like. He's absolutely somebody who I look up to for both his content, what he's done in his business. I think the difference between Nick Bare and I have worked with people like Nick when I was in the Army. Like his archetype, like I have served along, I never served with Nick, but we were both former infantry officer, Ranger qualified guys. That's who I worked in alongside. So I absolutely know people like Nick, love him to death. I don't know him at all. I just get to watch his video. So he's somebody who I really like to watch. And he's somebody who I aspire to be like, something I'm trying to model myself after a little bit, in that the way that he's done like everything with his YouTube and his health and fitness business. I think the difference is he is really speaking to that audience that wants to be elite level athletes, like extreme performance. And I used to think that that's what I wanted. And that's part of the reason why I struggled, is because I was striving to be something that I didn't really want to be. I want to be like healthy for my family. I want to be able to do anything I want to do. I want to not obsess over food. And I want to be able to be healthy and around for my girls for as long as possible. I don't want to be an elite level athlete. So I want to foster that same kind of mentality. If you want to be an elite level performance athlete, Nick Bare is who I would guide you to. But if you want to learn how to live a healthy, sustainable life while balancing family and all those kinds of things, and you struggle with that all or nothing mentality, that's kind of what I cater to. But he is somebody that I look up to. Also, Christian Guzman, I appreciate. I remember, again, he's a few years younger than me, but I remember watching Summer Shredding, like when it came out. Like I was watching Christian Guzman on his come up, and he is somebody who's motivated me on the content side of things to stay consistent. So I like, when fitness content, I would say Nick Bare and Christian Guzman are the two that I look up to. Love the beers. Hey, I appreciate that. It looks like people are having conversations in the chat, so I'm gonna leave some of that stuff out. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy in timeout. Love the shorts. I appreciate that. What has been the biggest struggle these days now that you've been consistent for a while? Honestly, some of it is like figuring out what the next thing I want to work on is. So I have probably been plateaued for the last year or two. I do feel, so I'm going to qualify this. I'm going to say, do I feel in a rut? Like I'm not necessarily making progress? A little bit, but part of that's okay, right? Like we're trying to get healthy for the rest of our lives. If we have a year or two where things stay the same, that's a win. Especially when you spend most of your life gaining weight. to stay the same for a year or two is a win. So I like to frame it that way. But I think the next thing that I'm working on is like, what is the next thing I want to work on? So that's my biggest struggle these days, is like applying my idea of working on one thing at a time. What is that next one thing I want to work on? And I haven't 100% decided on that answer yet, but that's personally where my head is at. Favorite NBA team, Orlando Magic, or I'll say the Spurs. My dad was a Spurs fan. Hey Ryan, I love the videos. I've been getting into the delicious food called sod. I know it's a little strange. Could you say sod? Sod forever. Camilla, I love Magic. Yeah, I love Magic. Oh. Hey, congrats on 250K. I recently moved from Tampa and missed the nice weather. LOL. Hope you and the family's doing good. Man, we're doing great. Left Behind. I think, man, if I'm not mistaken, I remember you have absolutely been here just about the entire time, if not the entire time on YouTube. Unfortunately, y'all, I'm at the point where I can't read every comment anymore. I think my channel gets thousands of comments every week. So I can no longer see every comment. There was a period up until about 150,000 subscribers where I could see every comment, and there's no way I could reply to every comment, but I could see every comment. I'm now getting to the point where I can't even see every comment. I see most. I'll say I see 80 to 90% of the comments. Again, I'm not able to reply to them all just due to the sheer nature of time. I get thousands a day. But I don't get thousands a day. I get thousands a week, hundreds and hundreds a day. But if you leave comments consistently, I do my best to reply to your comments. And I absolutely recognize people that are frequent visitors to the channel. Left Behind is a great example of that. Going back, like, I remember seeing, like, you've been with me on YouTube for years, and it's great seeing you here in the live stream. Steph C, I enjoy your videos. I appreciate that. Were you on a TV show? I wasn't on a TV show. I've been on the news a few times doing magic. As funny as that sounds, there's a few videos you could see. Search me on magic on YouTube. Limoncello, yes. Thank you for your service. Thank you. It's an honor of a lifetime to serve. Thank you for your videos. Very inspiring. I can still eat healthy and have some snacks during the mealtime and not be so restricted. Absolutely, right? You don't have to have that all or nothing. I do not count calories anymore. I keep an eye on them, but I don't count anymore. I just kind of have an internal calculator going. I've never seen a YouTube live stream in which every comment is read. Really appreciate your mindset and positivity. Congrats to you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, man. Favorite T-Swizzle song? God, I think I like 𝐂𝐻𝐿. Obviously, Shake It Off's a great song. High Energy, Wildest Dreams. Is that the title of the song? Wildest Dreams. Dang, I would definitely be your videographer if I lived closer. Well, let me know, Joe. I'm looking. I think that's 100%. That's what prevents me from making consistent long form videos. Just, it is a process to film everything you do in a day. And my days are pretty busy right now while prioritizing my family. Again, coaching and weight loss coaching clients takes up a majority of my time. And to do everything I would have to do in a day, the time is multiplied when I'm making YouTube videos, because now I got to set up, I got to get the shot and all that kind of stuff. If y'all want to see more YouTube videos, just be a videographer in Melbourne. And then some people will be like, what are you going to pay them? Like, it's not going to be as much starting out, but for my first year and a half on YouTube, I worked at it 15 to 20 hours a week and made nothing. But then on the back end of that, so if you want to be my videographer, reach out, because there will be a point where you'll make amazing money, because it just continues to go up. I've been fasting for almost 24 hours now. Can't wait to eat. I'm excited for you too, man. Hunger is man or woman. My bad, Bo. No, 100%, man. Hunger is the best food. Pikachu, what's your favorite meal? I love Mexican. Maybe I'm just craving Mexican right now. What time are you normally starting your eating window? Typically 2 o'clock. So it is 2:30 right now. I'm going to do one meal today because I didn't train. I want to make a video today. So I'll end up doing, talking to Siri. I'll end up doing one meal today. On days where I'm not doing one meal, typically it's 2 o'clock. I'd be eating right around this time. Amber, hey Ryan, just joined the live. Amber, thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. User, hey man, congrats on the 250K. I really appreciate that. Again, UK got a bunch of support from over there. Hey Jordan, hey Ryan, are you healthy tips, habits with kids? Got a 2-year-old and one on the way. Thank you. So find those 1 or 2 things that you can do and do consistently. Do it until the point that you're doing it without thinking about it. Then start working on your next habit. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much. Vince, what's good? If y'all are ever in Jacksonville and need a haircut, be sure to check out Vince Day. Check him out on Instagram as well. Gives the freshest fade in Jacksonville. I've been in Melbourne now since June, since the summertime, and he still cut my hair like 3 times since then. I go long in between haircuts, just like if I'm going to be back in Jacksonville, I make sure Vince cuts it. I have had a few haircuts here, but if y'all are in Jacksonville, make sure y'all find him on Instagram, like right now, Vince Day. And if you're watching this on replay, you can go check them out. But Torque, do you ever go hunting or fishing deer? It's been a while. I fished a lot when I was in high school. I haven't been hunting too much, just because of all the you got to apply for the permits and get your license, and I don't know where I'd hunt. I love the idea of it. I go shooting a lot more than I go hunting. Come down to Orlando for the weekend. I need to. How do you deal with post-workouts cravings? A majority of that, 2 things. 1, I've been doing it long enough that my body has adjusted. And 2, on days where I work out, I do get hungry earlier. So those are typically the days where I'm only fasting for 16 or 18 hours. LOL. When you do extended fast, do you still try to hit your macros for the day? I don't worry about it too much. On my 1 meal a days, I'm not as concerned with macros just because it is harder. So I try to be better about my macros on the days where I'm eating a little more. Have you ever tried the keto or Atkins? I've done low carb before, but I didn't do keto. Again, I don't think it's something that I tried just because I know that I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. I'm on day 1 of intermittent fasting. What have been the challenges for you for fasting is not trying to do too much. Keep it simple. Do nothing but 16 hours for the next month before you do the next thing, if that makes sense. And then any surprisingly good fast food places that can fit in your diet and help with goals. Probably, I like Chick-fil-A. It's a decent amount of protein. Yeah, some of it's fried, but I'm definitely going to be able to hit my protein goals if I go to Chick-fil-A. That's probably my go-to fat, like conventional fast food. What are my goals for 2020? I am trying to lose a little bit more weight. I said before that I wasn't sure what the next thing that I was focusing on is. I've been around that 215 for the last 2 years. Maybe I want to get into the 200 to 210. I'd like to maintain there for a while. So I'm working on getting there. I was 215 this morning. Again, I was kind of plus or minus a little bit. But maintaining at that, let's call it 205. Maintaining at that 205 for 6 months. And then Ben, hey coach, no questions for me. Just keeping up the good work. Hey, I appreciate that, Ben. Another client jumping on. Good to see you, man. Hope everything is well. Hey, would you have to say you eat the same amount of protein as your body weight? That is a good typical rule of thumb, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you do 80% of that most of the time, that'll get you most of the way there. And then how tall are you? I am 5'11". And I do have a decent, I would say I probably have a muscular frame. I always have. My legs are big. A lot of that has come from spending a lot of time overweight most of my life. So just walking around was a workout. But yeah, so I'm 5'11". All right. I cannot believe it. We got to every last comment. Thank you so much for joining me. If you watch this on the replay, you're an absolute superstar. Y'all are doing incredible. Thank you so much for joining me today. It means the world to me that you join in on this. The opportunity to share what I'm up to. I am beyond blessed to found something that I'm passionate about. I love sharing my journey. I love that it helps people. If you get nothing else out of the videos and a little bit of entertainment, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video.